Welcome to Soul Therapy with Chelle. I am Chelle Griffin and I practice as a soul doula. I combine therapeutic knowledge and lived experience with a healthy dose of spiritual exploration. Feel welcome to join me as we learn and grow together, exploring the magic and wonderment of experiencing life on earth as a spiritual being. Welcome to today's episode. Today we're going to be working around ways in which and discussing anchoring in to the year 2025. As I'm recording this, we're not far into February, and I know for me, February really is the beginning of my year. I'm an Aquarian, so I notice through the years that my year really starts to begin around the time of my birthday, because there's that reflection and an assessment of the year that's been leading in to my birthday, which happens to, coincide with the beginning of the year essentially. But I wonder if that's true for those of you who may have like a birthday later in the year or middle of the year. Do you experience this reflective period coming into your birthday season and feel this sort of renewed energy and almost like a beginning and a refreshing as you move into like through your birthday and into the next 12 months ahead of you? So for me, it happens to be in February, which is not far into the new year. So I notice I've mentioned before about how I choose a word for the year ahead, and this year's been challenging. I think I've been sort of banging on a bit about the premise of choosing a word and the meaning behind that and ways to identify the word, feel into the word, sit with multiple words and trust in the process that the word will find you and there'll be signs that's the one for you. And I found it really challenging this year. I had quite a few people reaching out to me and expressing what their process has been like and what their word is, and so eager to share their word. And I've noticed in past years that I've held my word pretty close to my chest for most of the year, maybe sharing it with a handful of close friends, my family, etc. And I've noticed a pattern there that sharing, we've talked about this before as well, sharing a dream or a wish, you don't want to jinx yourself. Is that the Australian way? Is that our culture as such? I don't know. I know it's something that was quite true for me. And I've been learning through lots of different manifestation workshops and books around manifestation and dreaming and goal setting and planning. There's this consistent message that it can't come into reality if you don't say it out loud. And you sit there and I've got these little dreams and little projects I'm working on in the background, and if I put air to it, is that going to jinx it and it's not going to come true? So I've got new approaches this year. Name something I'm interested and curious about in pursuing. It can still be from a place of detachment. It's not a given. Nothing's ever a given, and that's another really quite big growth opportunity for me that I've been experiencing. That things can flip in a millisecond, and we can have these like goals, micro goals, big ass dreams, and we can reserve the right to change our mind and move in a different direction. We can do a complete 180 and go in the opposite direction. Anything is possible. And we are living in those times right now that uncertainty is the only thing we can be certain of. Change is mandatory. Change is life. Look, we just look out at the environment. no one's like, there aren't trees sitting there going, no, 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 I'm not flowering. I'm just not going to flower. I do not want to do summer or spring. I'm not going to flower. I'm not going to grow green leaves. Just going to stay here as a stick. I'm just going to hibernate. Sorry, I'm packing myself away. Like nature does not do that. It's forever changing in cycle. So why are we any different? So with this anchoring into the new year and coming back to finding a word in particular, I noticed that I was in a little state of panic and I was away with my family. I always give myself January, like this month long sort of buffer zone for my word to come in. And I had a few words hovering around, but then when I go to think about my word, I forget what those words are. So they weren't really dropping in. And it wasn't until sort of getting towards the end of January that I realized, hang on, everyone's letting me know what their word is. Everyone's found one. They're finding them with ease. Why haven't I found one? Am I meant to have one? Like, just started getting curious. Okay, am I meant to have a word this year? And then I noticed a pattern with the words that I had been sort of loosely feeling drawn to. They were hard work, and I've done hard work. I know hard work. Hard work is my comfort zone. And that's what I sat back a little bit more and went, okay, what is it about an easy sounding word? Like, what does that look like? And suddenly it was all the positive words were flowing in, and this perception of ease and this, well, I don't deserve easy. Easy is not my comfort zone. I shouldn't be choosing an easy word. I shouldn't be, suppressing myself and choosing the easy road. Why? Like, that's a cop out, and I'll be judged for that. And people think that I've just completely given up on this process, and I'm just bailing really by choosing an easy word. And that's gonna really hit me. I'm choosing words that will help me to grow, but I'm doing it in a really challenging way. It's like I'm supersizing into a trauma response over and over because that is what has been familiar to me. I know how to get through a trauma, a drama, a crisis. And so just let that land for a while. And I really, really sat with what that felt like in my body and why I was holding on to this perception that I have to do things the hard way. And I noticed when I really, really deeply sat with all those thoughts and processes and all those core beliefs coming up to the surface, that's when I was able to release and go, actually, I've got space for whatever word needs to come in. And two came in. I don't feel I need to share what those words are as such, but two came in and I thought I'll just leave them to float around and see. I've still got a few days until the end of January. Then, life got in the way. I was on a holiday. I was having immense fun with my family. And that was a really freeing time. And my attention was focused elsewhere. I was being very present in the moment, which, for those that know me really well, I'm the planner. I've got all of the scenarios mapped out, all the what ifs, all the possibilities, backups to backups to backups. And so that practice of presence was like really liberating. And I seem to be really good at that when I'm on holiday. I'm discovering I'm not so great at that when I'm back home in normal routine. I get back into those old habits. So I've been working really hard since being back home to just come back to presence and really notice my surroundings, notice, like focus fully when I'm in a conversation, choosing activities consciously, not out of habit or self soothing or seeking to like regulate. And so my week has been, since coming back home, has been really quite different to how I re enter back into everyday life after a holiday. So that's been really interesting for me to observe and be curious about. The other thing was I totally forgot about the word. I just it just clean wasn't in my on my radar anymore. And I had a beautiful friend come visit the day we landed back in Oz, and like, and how good is it? Side note, how amazing is it to be missed when you're away, to get beautiful messages of like, when are you getting home? I miss you. I need to see you. Like, how gorgeous and succulent does that feel to know that your absence is really felt without having to, be taken away, whether it's through death or moving or being away for work or having to travel for work or for whatever reason, others moving away, etc. That was just so beautiful. It was so lovely to be welcomed home and have people really excited for us to be back. So back to the word, it was in conversation with really gorgeous friend saying, well, have you chosen your word? What are your words? This is my word. And I'm like, oh, amazing word. That's brilliant. That is so you. I see. That fits you. That's what a gorgeous word. Why didn't I think of that? And she said, well, what are your words? And I said, oh, I've got two. And I told her, and she goes, oh, well, that's obviously that one. And I'm like, oh, okay, right. She goes, well, because you do that other one all the time. That's who you are. And you don't need to make it harder on yourself. And I'm like, what? Oh my God, this person's read my mind. They've picked up on my energy and, in a roundabout way, given me permission to choose what felt innately and intuitively like a good fit for me. That I was a little bit nervous, like seeing a beautiful dress and going, okay, well, my body shape doesn't fit that style. Who gives a damn? Honestly, if I put that dress on and it makes me feel good, I'm going to wear it. That's my new lease on life. This word was like there on the hanger, and I didn't feel ready to fit into it or wear it or carry it off or embody it for whatever reason, but I was attracted to it. So I had this gorgeous invitation to like snap that one up, put that one on, and just rock it. And it will mold to your body, it will adjust, and it will become your comfort zone. And that word, I realized, had a really positive, celebratory aura about it. And I've denied myself that. I've gone for the active words of requiring like just slogging it out and working through it and like going through the mud. This one is like dancing through the meadows of gorgeous blossoming wildflowers all the way into 2026. So I really, really want to encourage you and give you permission, not that you need it from me, give you an invitation to really look into aspects of your life that maybe you're slogging it away and maybe you don't need to be doing it. Maybe a different perspective, shifting it into a positive flip and reframing as a source of encouragement and celebration that change doesn't have to be super challenging, traumatizing, condescending, negative, a hard slog. Just maybe it's like a million little micro steps that get you to the same result. still experience the same growth, but you've done it in a joy-filled and present manner, and it's been the experience that counts in getting you there rather than dragging yourself to the finish line. So I've noticed that whilst my year has been a bit of a roller coaster so far. Like we're in February already, and I'm booking appointments out to May at the moment, going, oh my God, this year is flying as fast as the last one, if not quicker. Coming back to stillness, reminding myself, okay, February is my time. That's my beginning of the year. I'm going to carve out some time to really sit with some projects I have in mind that I'm tossing around and really feel into whether the timing's right for me, get an idea of when that timing might be right, a sense of what that could look like, and still just really meet myself in that planning mode, because that's where the daydreams happen. Mm. And I don't need to make myself wrong for being a planner. I don't have to restrict myself as a planner. And I'm having some really big aha moments at the moment, and I suspect a lot of you are too. There's really big energy going on, lots of downloads, DNA rewiring. There's like we're coming into a full moon, and it's a potent one. Everything's been shifted, stripped away, and we're being left raw and really seeing the bare bones of who we are. Our ancestral lineage, shadow work is really coming up as well. We've been working hard for years on this, but like we're getting right down into the nitty gritty the moment. So take the time, rest, hydrate, repeat. Rest, hydrate, repeat. Connecting with your higher self, journal, sit still in nature, go for a walk through the bush, on the beach. Just put your feet in the pool or have a bath or just a shower, whatever you can do to just soothe your nervous system. Breath work, like it doesn't even have to have a label. Just do some deep breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth, just for a couple of minutes, and you'll immediately notice your system start to slow down and recalibrate. And that's what I see February for me. It's a time of celebrating that, I've had another trip around the sun, being around those who really uplift me and fill my heart with joy, who I love. I love their energy, and we feed off each other's energy in a really authentic and connected way. Surround yourself with the green flags. You know the work. This is a time to review just how far you've come. Look back on the year that's been behind you and pick out the lessons, notice the growth, and really celebrate who you are today. And then we carry that forth. Dream big, write the dreams down that brings them to life. Speak to them. Light a fire, speak to the fire. Write them down, put them in the fire, brings them to life, puts them out there in the ethers. And just really carry yourself forward and celebrate. So I'm really interested in how you have met yourself in the new year. Have you been kind to yourself? Like I've noticed in particular, I had one of my lowest of low days while we're on holiday. And like I'm normally like firing on all cylinders on holiday because I'm out of my typical routine. The mental overload eases considerably because your biggest decision is what to have for dinner. Like, well, not what to make or what to even just where to go for dinner. And then a menu's put in front of you. Like, how beautiful is that? And just reducing that decision making, because I know that really overwhelms me. Others may just love living like that. So it's just finding little ways to really hold yourself and honor your needs. So moving forward, February is my time of, close connections and giving myself space, really being aware not to overcommit, not to race back in and create busyness and chaos, and really setting myself up, scaffolding my year ahead for me so that I've got space for my priorities, my self-care, the projects I'm interested in, quality time with my extended family, my friends, within my community, ways of giving back, having that space so that when I see a need, when I see someone needs my time and attention, I have that capacity and that space to offer. So Happy New Year, and may it be blessed with all that you need. And I would really love to hear from you, whether you DM or email me or tag me on Insta or Facebook or wherever you find me. Just let me know what has shifted for you. What have you really noticed about yourself in the last year that you've embraced or you're changing and realigning for the new year? What has come in for you that lifts you up, that you haven't shared out loud and you want the magic dust? So share it with me. Share it with all of the listeners. We'd love to hear from you and we'd love to celebrate you. And feel welcome to go to my website and follow me on social media if you don't already, so that you can keep up to date with upcoming events. Follow me for my blog and newsletters, and just look forward to connecting and growing this really gorgeous, nourishing and nurturing community so that we can all lift each other up as well. Go gently. Thank you for showing up for yourself by listening to Soul Therapy with Chelle. Feel welcome to subscribe to my podcast, share the pod with your friends, family, colleagues and neighbours. And please, if you are willing, I would absolutely love a 5-star review to give my little pod a boost in the algorithms. For further detail on how to work with me, please visit my website www.chellegriffin.com or find me on the socials. I hope you'll join me on my next episode. Till then, go gently and intentionally. With care, Chelle.